Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I want you to imagine something for a second. You've stopped chasing her, you've pulled your energy back, and suddenly she starts to act. Strange, there's tension in the air, you can feel it. It's that shift, the moment she realizes she's lost you. Her words change, her tone softens, and for the first time, you see uncertainty in her eyes. That's the moment her psychology flips. And today, I'm going to help you understand exactly what's happening inside her mind. But before we go deep, hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. It helps more men finally see the truth they were never meant to understand. You see, women don't lose men in a single moment. They lose them slowly, in the silence, in the distance, in the absence of your old energy. When a man emotionally withdraws, it doesn't register immediately. She tells herself you're just busy. She convinces herself she's still in control. But then something subtle happens. Your validation stops feeding her ego. And that's when panic quietly begins. At first, she won't show it. She'll act colder, as if she's unaffected, almost detached. But this is a mask. In female psychology, emotional detachment is often a defense mechanism. It's a way of protecting herself from the reality that she no longer holds power over your attention. She'll test you, maybe with a sarcastic remark, maybe by posting something online that she knows you'll see. But underneath it, there's fear. Fear that she's no longer the woman who gets to live rent-free in your mind. That fear begins to eat at her confidence. Every unanswered text becomes a question. Has he moved on? Is he with someone else? Did he stop caring? Women are highly intuitive when emotional distance appears. They can feel it in your tone, your timing, even in your silence. When she knows she's lost you, it doesn't just hurt her pride. It shakes her sense of value. And here's the secret. When a woman realizes she's lost a man who was emotionally invested, it doesn't just trigger sadness, it triggers regret, because deep down she starts remembering all the moments you were present, the times she dismissed, the energy she took for granted. That's when the real unraveling begins. When she knows she's lost you, she starts replaying every memory, not out of nostalgia, but out of disbelief. It's her mind trying to rewrite history, to make sense of how she went from being desired to being dismissed. You'll notice subtle shifts. She starts mentioning old inside jokes. She laughs a little louder when you're around. She might even text you something that sounds innocent but carries an undertone. A question she's too proud to ask directly. Do you still think about me? At first glance, it looks like she's just reminiscing. But what's really happening is emotional recalibration. Her brain is trying to reconnect the emotional wiring that once made her feel secure in your presence. When that connection is broken, a woman doesn't simply miss you. She misses the version of herself that existed when she had your attention. That's the psychological hook. She doesn't just lose you, she loses the identity she built through your validation. That's why you'll see a strange mix of emotions from her. Irritation one day, warmth the next. It's not manipulation. It's confusion. She's trying to find balance in a dynamic that's no longer predictable. You were once her emotional anchor, and now, without that grounding, her ego and her heart start to argue. The ego says, don't reach out, stay strong. The heart whispers, but what if it's too late? You might think she's moved on because she's posting happy pictures or stories filled with confidence. But here's the truth. When a woman is truly content, she doesn't perform for the camera. She disappears into peace. When she's still hurting, she performs for your attention. She wants you to see her glow, not because she's healed, but because she hopes you'll wonder if you made a mistake. And that's one of the deepest female defense patterns, the art of appearing unbothered while emotionally burning inside. It's pride mixed with pain, wrapped in silence. But deep down, she's watching if you notice, watching if you'll react, watching if you care. Because when she knows she's lost you, her greatest fear isn't that you'll forget her. It's that you'll become the man she always wanted after she's no longer part of your story. That realization cuts deeper than heartbreak. It cuts into identity. Here's the part most men never realize. When she knows she's lost you, she starts to question herself in ways she never expected. The same woman who once seemed confident, unshakable, even a little dismissive, suddenly finds herself haunted by quiet moments of doubt. She'll ask herself things like, was I too cold? Did I push him away? Why did I think he'd always stay? These thoughts don't come right away. They build slowly, in the silence you left behind. That silence is powerful. It's not just the absence of words, it's the absence of reassurance. You see, in relationships, men often underestimate how much their consistency means. When you stop reaching out, stop explaining, stop reacting, she's forced to face a mirror she's avoided for too long. And what she sees in that reflection is accountability. Women are deeply emotional creatures, but they're also deeply analytical. Once the emotional storm settles, her mind starts connecting dots she previously ignored. She replays your arguments differently. The things you said that she dismissed suddenly make sense. That's when the realization hits, not just that she's lost you, but that she contributed to it. That awareness is heavy, because for many women, losing a man's emotional investment feels like losing proof of their worth. You'll notice it in subtle ways. She'll start asking mutual friends about you, pretending it's casual. She might randomly like an old post or respond to something minor, anything to reopen a channel of connection without admitting vulnerability. But underneath that surface behavior is one truth. She wants to feel that you still care, even if she's not ready to say she does. And here's where the psychology deepens. Once a woman realizes she's lost emotional influence over a man, her subconscious begins to crave what she once rejected. Your stability, your calm, your attention. It's ironic, isn't it? The same energy she once took for granted now becomes the very thing she chases internally. But here's the difference. She won't chase you outwardly. She'll chase the feeling of being wanted by you again. That's why emotional detachment from your side is so transformative. It's not punishment, it's reflection. It forces her to experience the emotional contrast from being the center of your world to being an outsider looking in. And that emotional gap, that's where transformation, or regret, begins to grow. When she knows she's lost you, something remarkable happens beneath her surface. Her emotional defenses start to crack. The woman who once seemed unreachable begins to feel everything more intensely. Every memory, every small detail, every time you showed up and she didn't notice. It all comes rushing back, but now it's coated in the bitterness of hindsight. She doesn't tell anyone, of course. Outwardly, she'll still carry herself like she's fine. But inside, she's fighting an invisible storm. That storm isn't just sadness, it's ego collapse. Because for most women, losing emotional power over a man they once controlled feels like losing part of their identity. You were the mirror that reflected her importance. And when that reflection disappears, she's left staring into uncertainty. Her confidence begins to shake, not because of you, but because of the way she treated the parts of you that were loyal, patient, and deeply human. This is the stage where you'll see contradiction in her actions. She might start reaching out with excuses, asking about something trivial, sending a message late at night, or even pretending she accidentally ran into you. But pay attention. Those aren't coincidences, they're emotional feelers. It's her way of checking if the door is still open without admitting that she's standing outside, hoping you'll let her back in. And if you remain calm, not cold, just centered, that's when the weight of her realization hits hardest. She'll begin comparing you to every man who follows. No one will match the depth of connection she once felt when you were fully present. Because emotional safety is addictive. When a woman has tasted the presence of a man who truly sees her, every shallow interaction afterward feels empty. She may even try to recreate you, finding someone who looks like you, talks like you, behaves like you. But it never works, because what she really misses isn't your face or your voice. It's the feeling of being emotionally grounded in your energy. And that's what makes your absence more powerful than your presence ever was. You see, women rarely admit when they've lost a good man. Not to others, not even to themselves. But you'll know. You'll see it in the way she lingers a moment too long, in the messages that sound like closure but are really confession. That's her silent apology, not in words, but in regret. When she knows she's lost you, she begins to understand something she never thought about before. The difference between a man's attention and a man's presence. Attention is cheap. It's everywhere. But presence, your presence, that was rare. And now that it's gone, she starts realizing how powerful it really was. Because when a man with emotional depth, purpose, and control finally pulls away, it doesn't just leave a gap in her life. It leaves a silence her mind can't fill. She might still tell her friends she's fine. She might even act like she's relieved. But inside, she's measuring every moment of her new reality against what she had with you. The truth is, women remember the emotional experience a man gives them. They remember how you made them feel safe, seen, desired, understood. When that disappears, no amount of social media validation, no rebound, no distraction can fully replace it. That's why so many women circle back months later, not because they miss the relationship, but because they miss who they were when they were with you. But here's where men often make a mistake. When she reaches out again, they confuse regret for reconciliation. Understand this clearly. Her missing you doesn't always mean she's ready to love you right. Sometimes it's just guilt, sometimes it's control, and sometimes it's genuine loss. But even then, it's not your responsibility to heal her realization. Your responsibility is to protect the man you became after she lost you. Because your detachment didn't just show her what life is like without you. It showed you who you are when you stop pouring into the wrong person. That power is what she senses now. It's what makes her restless. A man who no longer needs validation radiates something women can't fake. Emotional certainty. That's what pulls her back in, even when she swore she was done. So when she starts showing signs of regret, don't rush to fill the silence. Don't chase her again. Let her sit in the weight of what she created, because that space, that emotional gap, is where the truth lives. It's where she finally understands that your absence isn't punishment. It's the natural consequence of taking something genuine for granted. And nothing shakes a woman deeper than realizing the man she thought would always stay finally stopped trying. When she knows she's lost you, the story shifts, not in your favor or hers, but in truth's favor. This is the phase where her mind finally stops fighting the loss and begins to feel it. The facade fades, the confident posts slow down, the smiles look forced, and at night, when everything is quiet, she starts to confront the echoes of what she had. That's when the memories hit hardest. Not the dramatic ones, but the small ones. The sound of your voice, the way you looked at her when you were truly present, the calm she felt in your silence. That's the kind of loss no one sees, but she feels it in her bones. You see, there's a moment in every woman's life when she realizes that genuine masculine energy, the kind that is patient, grounded, and emotionally certain, isn't something you find often. It's earned, it's rare, and it's irreplaceable once gone. That's why, when she knows she's lost you, her heart doesn't just miss you. It mourns the version of herself that felt most alive around you. Because whether she'll admit it or not, you brought out something real in her. And now, without that mirror, she sees the parts of herself she abandoned when she tried to control, test, or push you away. But this story isn't really about her anymore. It's about you, about the man you became through the silence, through the distance, through the realization that your worth was never meant to be proven, only recognized. Her loss became your lesson. Her confusion became your clarity. And that's the shift that changes everything, because the most powerful form of detachment isn't about pretending not to care. It's about caring deeply, but refusing to betray yourself in the process. So if she circles back, let her. Listen, but don't lose yourself again. You've evolved past the version of you she once knew, and now your peace is the proof of your growth. The man who no longer needs to chase is the man every woman eventually respects. If this message hit you deeply, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, not just to stay connected, but to remind yourself of this truth. When she knows she's lost you, that's when you finally find you.